What I want to do here today, a dive into your most powerful event of all. Not only is the most powerful, but it statistically delivers some of the biggest gains. So you have a list of events that you should be largely relying on to take your action. Out of the list of events that you have a card for each one of the events. But out of all of those events, there is one that is the mightiest in terms of power and profitability. And that is the 180, the bull and bear 180. Now, I want to do a dive on this because I'd like all of you to become bull and bear 180 experts, not only in terms of playing them, but of course, before you play them, you have to become good at identifying them. There are two ways to enter. You have to understand each of those two ways to enter. You also have to understand what position and location makes this very powerful play even more powerful. I teach predominantly from the bull side, and I like to show examples from the sell side, but we'll look at both sides here. We're going to take the bull 180 first. The 180 is made up of two bars, but they're unique bars. In truth, a pure unadulterated bull 180 is made up of two elephant bars. One of those elephant bars, or the first elephant bar, is red. It is a down bar, and it is followed by immediately an even more powerful green elephant bar. The first thing I want you to understand that the bull 180 in its true pure form is back-to-back elephant bars, with the green one being taller than the red one. Powerful elephant bars have a very high follow-through rate. A solid elephant bar like this, it's close to an 80% follow-through rate. 8 times out of every 10, you get another red. You get more red that follows. That's what I mean by a follow-through rate, that you get more of that color later. But here with this elephant bar, that 80% gets nullified. I'm going to share something with you. This should follow through 80% of the time. When it doesn't, when a solid elephant bar doesn't, and it gets neutralized as it does in the bull 180, it's typically bigger on the upside than it would have been on the downside. These are just a few of the reasons why the 180 is so powerful. It is overcoming clear, unadulterated power from the opposite side, showing that it is so powerful, it is more powerful than the powerful. So the green power is more powerful than the powerful. It is so powerful that it is reversing something that has an 80% follow-through rate. All this means is that green is the dominant force, and the move to the upside is usually bigger than normal. So if we could normalize every move to the upside from an event, the moves to the upside from a bull 180 will statistically outpace the moves from other things. It happens to us about 15% of your plays will tend to be bull and bear 180s. The bull 180 is generally a confirmation entry event, which means that you buy the moment the instant green takes out the high of the red. Boom, there's your entry. You do not wait for this bar to finish trading. You buy into the bar as it's still a live bar. And as soon as it crosses the high of the red bar, you're golden. There's always a little bit of confusion as to whether or not you wait for a tail. Let's say there's a little tail up here on the red bar. Do you wait for the tail or do you do the body? This is a personal choice because both are correct. What I do is I go over the body if there is a fairly decent difference. If there is almost no difference, then I will give it the tiny bit of extra and go over the tail. If the difference is insignificant, I'll include the tail. If it's not so insignificant, I want that extra price improvement with the body. I want you to imagine one of your stocks has this nice solid red bar, but you see this stock have no follow through so far and start to climb and climb and climb. You're watching this and climb. And as it approaches the high, you're like, whoa, if this takes out the high, this is a bull 180. You're seeing the potential bull 180 form right in front of your face. And boom, right there is your entry. Boom. Your protection needs to ideally be under both bars. And this protection, if you lose on it, you should not be losing more than your maximum loss per trade. Every trader needs to adhere to a maximum loss per trade. If your plan calls for a maximum loss per trade of 100, then you play one lot of 100 shares. The distance from your entry to your stop cannot be more than $1. If you do 2 shares and your maximum loss per trade is 100, then the distance from your entry to here can't be more than 50 cents. You have to play these things within the context of your maximum loss per trade. What if you really want this, but this would violate your maximum loss? Meaning, if you did 2 lots here, you would lose $120 and your maximum loss per trade is 100. This is what your plan calls for. So can you make this work? Yes. You can move your stop up to where you make it 100 as long as you are in the bottom portion of the bear 180. This is the bottom portion. This is the top portion. You need to be in the bottom portion, and preferably you should be in the bottom third. That's the best. You can adjust, but if you stay within the bottom third, you're still probably fine. Ideally, the stop should be under the entire event, but if you have to move it up, you can, as long as you're really close to the bottom. You do not want to be moving a stop up toward the middle or in the upper part. You're asking to be taken out of the play. Let's continue. This is a deep dive, guys. This is a deep dive to make you an expert on the bull 180. I've got a lot to cover here. Let's keep going. We know that your ideal entry is 1 penny above the high of the red. Because of the power of this event, you don't need to worry about how far in this 2-minute bar you are. This could be 20 seconds, 30 seconds. It doesn't matter. You are going to enter, no matter when this happens, right above the high. Stop above the low. If you can't get that low, stop somewhere in the bottom portion of the event, preferably under the whole thing. What if the bar that you're leapfrogging, the bear elephant bar, what if that's an elephant bar plus? Remember what an elephant bar plus is? It's actually more than an elephant. In this case, it is actually not wise to wait for this high to be broken. We need to get in earlier if the bar is taller than normal. And I want you to use 80% entry rule. If you get 80% of the way, it's probably okay. Let's say that's more or less 80. It's somewhat subjective, I know. It's the 80-20 rule. Boom, there's your entry when the red bar is tall. Same stop, or if you can't, at least be in that bottom portion. That is the anticipation entry for the bull 180, but only when you have a red elephant bar plus. This is actually safer to enter here. Don't think that it's more aggressive. This is safer because your stop out is smaller than it would be here. So your anticipation entry, the 80% anticipation entry, is a safer entry in this case than the confirmation entry because your potential loss is smaller. Now, there's a tendency for many people to think that anticipation means more risky. Usually anticipation means less risky, believe it or not. There are some people who call these bull 180s. This is more like what I would call a simple color change, but this is a bull 180. We signify the bull as a plus. While some people do call the small color changes 180s, they're really not 180s in essence. What makes the 180 powerful is that something significant got overcome. Now, this is cool too in the right location, but this is far more significant because the bulls demonstrated their ability to neutralize something powerful. Here, you're neutralizing something small. It's not as impressive. It's okay in the right location, but it's not as impressive as a bull 180 where the bulls have regained control from a very powerful force. That red elephant was proof that the bears were very powerful, but the bulls neutralized that power. They came back and overran the powerful bears by taking the entire bear bar out. Let's talk about what makes the bull 180 very powerful, more powerful than it is, because it's powerful by itself. But let's talk about what adds to its power, what adds fuel to its power. And so the first thing I would say, when this happens in a late stage down move, it is more powerful. So it is more powerful when your stock has been dropping, and you get the bull 180 here. It's not early stage, it's late stage down move. So that's scenario number one. Also, if you have space, which means that your nearest moving average is far above. Your nearest moving average is a decent distance above you. So see, there's space. You're deep below the 20-period moving average. So if we combine both of these things, look at what we're combining. A solid move down. You're not early in the move down. Early in the move down is like one red bar before you, but this is multiple bar down move far. It leaves behind the 20, far below the 20. This is a very powerful location for the bull 180. Let's go to the next location. Everything is in reverse as well, guys. We're focused on the bull side of it, but you can flip everything I'm telling you to the bear side as well. What's another location? A flat 200. You get a bull 180 off of a flat 200 and you're golden. It's another very powerful location, okay? Some of you know the concept of a tight, fabulous four, a tight, narrow state. If you are getting a bull 180 off of a tight, narrow state, remember the locations, far below the 20, a distance below the 20, on top of a flat 200, on top of a tight, narrow state. And we can also have, not as powerful as the rest, but still noteworthy, a 20-period moving average. So sometimes you can get these pullbacks that turn right off of a rising 20-period moving average. Have you seen that before? So what are the locations again? So below a 20, above a 200, a flat 200, then we'll put the 180 here. So 180, 180, 180, and don't forget 180. All right? You got those locations? Below, deep below your 20, right on top of a flat 200, right on top of a tight, narrow state, at or near a rising 20. We've got two scenarios. Let's do them again. We've got the regular elephant bar, bull 180, where you buy above the high. Boom. We have the elephant bar plus version where your red elephant is actually a little extra tall there. And so here you want to apply the 80% entry rule. We know that our stop should be under the lows. Well, if we can't, somewhere in that bottom portion of it, just to make sure the trade does not violate our maximum loss per trade. Now, you all need a maximum loss per trade, whatever that is. I don't like maximum loss per trade to less than $50. I think that 65, 70, up to 100 for a lot of traders works. The way you get your maximum loss in general is to first start off with what's your daily loss allowance, and then divide that by 2 or 3. If you want a smaller one, you divide your daily loss allowance by 3. If you want a slightly bigger one, you divide your daily loss allowance by 2. So in my program, most traders start off with a maximum daily loss allowance of 200, and some traders will divide this by 2 to get the $100 or buy 3 to get a smaller one. You want to give yourself at least 2 to 3 chances per day. Now that we know the 2 different types, the confirmation bull 180 is on the left where you're buying above the high. The anticipation bull 180, you're buying 80% up into the red elephant bar. We know that the most ideal stop is below both bars. If we can't, at least we need to be in the bottom portion. We know that time does not matter when it comes to this play. As soon as you cross the high, you're in. I don't care when that happens. As soon as you cross the 80% level in scenario number 2, doesn't matter. That's where you're making your entry. Let us go to some charts and take a look. I want to keep the detail on just basically how you identify this in the right locations, where you enter, and how you protect yourselves. Now, guys, remember, this is something that you don't have to search for. I don't want you searching. I want you watching. There's a difference between searching and watching. If Exxon is one of your stocks that you live with every day, you should not miss it. You'll see that the first 2-minute bar of the morning, or of the open in this case, is red. It is in a good location, but it's red. It's only a play if green takes it out. Okay, it is not a play. We don't play red from this position. That's a different topic, but we don't play red from position 1. Okay, we can only play to the upside. But now that I have a solid red bar, I need a bull 180 to play this. And if a bull 180 doesn't form, it's really not a play right now. You've got a tight little, nice little fat fork going on here. Look at the tightness of your moving average. That's the quick and dirty way. So you got a narrow state. You're right above the narrow state. Solid red bar. Can you do an 80%er here? I would say yes, because look at the average size of your red bars over the recent history. That's how you judge it. So this is truly huge compared to your average red bars in the recent past. You don't have to go through all the past, just the recent past. And so I'm okay with you doing the 80% entry there. Boom, stop below the low. And the rest is history. Take a look here. Do you see the bear 180? Solid green, red takeout. It's a 2-bar event. Now, it doesn't have a lot of red before it, but it has strong red before it. Is it in a good location? Well, yes, it's in a perfect location, actually. Tight, fat 4, and you're playing it right there. So remember, 180 here is good. 180 here is good down. This is good up. Is this a bear 180, or is that a color change? That's a color change. Good. That's a play too, but that's not the focus today. Is this a bear 180 or color change? You tell me. Color change. Nice play, just not our focus today. But you should know the difference, yes. I want to do a 15-minute chart here. What kind of 180 is it, though? What kind of 180 am I pointing to now? Confirmation or anticipation, 80%. It's an 80%er, right? Bull 180 or color change? Yeah, I would say color change, because the red is not really an elephant. You need to be a pure 180, your red should be an elephant. It's a color change because the red is not an elephant. That's an elephant bar. This is a normal red bar that doesn't qualify as an elephant. So if it doesn't qualify as an elephant, it could be just simply a color change. This is not an elephant bar. So that's a color change. So know the difference between elephants. Elephant, elephant. This is not an elephant. Not an elephant. An elephant on one item, one stock or one tradable item may not be an elephant on another. Elephants are relative to the actual item you're looking at. This might be an elephant on this stock, but if you were to flip to something else, that might be small. That might not qualify as an elephant. It's relative to its recent past, you see? And this is very sizable relative to the type of red bars it has recently been producing. All right, it's always relative to the actual play itself. You see this green bar with the tail, right? Do you see the high? At one point, wasn't that green bar tall all the way to the high? Now, what happened to the green? It started to fall, right? But every fall is really red. And then it just continued the next bar. Every fall is red. So this is one of your more advanced readings where that's your 80%. That's actually more than an elephant plus. There are different levels of elephants. There, you can go to what's called dual elephant, which is more than an elephant plus. And on the dual elephants, you can cut them in half. Elephant 1 and elephant 2. And your entry on a dual elephant is above the half point. That is when you have a really long red bar that is more than an elephant plus. It has moved into dual elephant territory and it's far away. And this one we cut in half as a play. Tawani's asking, what if your elephant bar, it takes several green to get it broken? This is also one of your plays. It's just not the one we're focused on today. That is actually in your deck. That is called a red bar takeout. So the way you look at this is immediate and this is delayed, but they're accomplishing the same thing and they're both powerful. On many occasions, the delayed sometimes can be a bit more powerful. But when it comes to the Bull 180, the immediate velocity and power of just punching red in the face so hard, I like the 180s better. Here we got a 360 here. That's right. But this is very difficult because this bear 180 here is not happening in a good location, is it? Now, if you took that bear 180 up here far away, that would be different. But it's happening in the wrong location. If you put that bear 180 under, then that's good, but it's in the wrong location here. Remember the locations. On top of the 200, we're looking for the bull scenario. On the bottom, we're looking for the bear scenario. So guys, what I need you to do is practice identifying these. Practice finding them. Become an expert identifier. Line the ones up with the right location. See how they performed. Get used to them. Build your confidence in how reliable and how powerful some of the moves are that happen from them. It's important to see so many work and how they work that when it happens to you in real time, you lose the hesitation.